Hey, how's it going, you guys? Well, I just want to touch on the Sentry card again because I found some new things. Some of the employees, what they're connected with. Yes. The plot fucking thickens. Yes, it does. As you know, they call it their self sovereign identity, which is like a digital ID. What does that have to do with sovereignty? Being sovereign? Yeah, I have no idea. Your physical entry. Yeah, scan your fingerprint to gain access to your smart city home. Your cold storage crypto wallet, which eventually will become your CBDC government token wallet. And we take a look at the CEO of Sentry Card, Mark Bennett. Yes. His background, working on software and field support, engineering for military intelligence systems. Right? This is his background. And other employees, like Janet Fenner, who worked for Intelligence Security Systems, ISS, one of the largest video surveillance companies in the world, where they talk about urban surveillance solutions, incorporating a myriad of intelligence technologies that envelop a city within a safety blanket. This is what they call their mass surveillance police state. A safety blanket in your safe city. Ah, great piece of rebranding there. Right? And they talk about smart roads and all these IoT devices collecting all of the data. Right? Another one of their, one of the chairman of the board here, Richard Burns. Richard Burns, you see right here, chairman of the board for Intelligence Security Systems. He serves on the board of Carnegie Hall and on the board of trustees of the David Rockefeller founded America Society. Right? So he's deeply embedded with the elite. Right? And you see right here, they talk about smart roads. Alright, smart roads. Right? Connecting all of your smart autonomous vehicles. And first we have the electric vehicles connected to the grid. And eventually it become these autonomous vehicles. Right? Connected on this smart road. Charging them. Right? Everything a government service. You will own nothing and be happy. Right? And you will need your digital key for your digital autonomous vehicle to unlock and start the vehicle and gain access to your autonomous vehicle ride sharing program. This is the Car Connectivity Consortium. Just like the Sentry card, it is a member of this FIDO Alliance, right? Such members as Vanguard, and 9 different governments, the Australian government, the UK government, German government, Chinese, United States, right? Collecting data, all of these IoT devices, right? Tracking and tracing all of your purchases. And with your CBDC government token wallet, collecting all this data. And we now have, as Whitney Webb has been talking about, this Gabriel system, right? The Mossad and the CIA shaking hands and working on these pre-crime surveillance systems. Right. Let me see here. Everything connected to this safety blanket. Right. Everything connected. Right. And it talks about how they will be looking for abnormal behavior. Right. And as we know, the National Security Advisor considers any personal grievance and belief with potential bias, just potential bias, related to religion, gender, or sexual orientation is now considered a domestic terrorist threat since March of 2021. So this is part of the abnormal behavior that they will be looking for on this Gabriel pre-crime surveillance system. All right. And we add this to the TAPS Act, where the FBI, state and local law enforcement, Department of Homeland Security, the private sector, and mental health professionals will be looking for these quote-unquote threats and assessing them and preventing them. Right? Since 2019, this has been in place. Right? So we add that to it. And I went ahead and looked at some of the funders for this Gabriel network. All right, one of them gave them an undisclosed amount back in 2017. This Mass Challenge. And Mass Challenge, wouldn't you know it, is partnered with the U.S. Air Force. So this, could this be that this is the military intelligence system that Mark Bennett was working on back in 1986? Could it be? And this connects us back. All this stuff is connected. This is your decentralized form of government, monetary system, healthcare, mental health, education, etc. Right? Decentralization doesn't mean freedom or liberty or sovereignty, as they want you to believe. It is a wide net of control. Right? And we also see one of their partners. You see Meter and several other things. Right? IBM. Right? We have the ISS, National Laboratory, which, wouldn't you know it, is also interested in collecting data and connecting it to the cloud, using their remote sensing and satellite technology to collect all of this data. Add it to all these things. Mass Challenge has 4 different hubs in the United States, Israel, Mexico, and of course, Switzerland. And one of their employees, Kara Tobin, her background is with the UN. Some of these climate change initiatives and carbon footprint things, right? Controlling the food supply with this carbon footprint scoring system that the World Business Council for Sustainable Development is working on with Bain and Company, Bayer and BP and DuPont, and Roche, yes, who received one of the highest criminal fines in U.S. history, $500 million, right? Who bought the patent for the PCR tests from Kary Mullis long ago, right? Using it to create this case-demic, also using it to test chickens for the avian bird flu, right? And you see how that connects with this carbon footprint scoring system for each item of food, you know. This is all part of technocracy, right? Tracking and tracing how we expel energy or take in energy or use energy and control it, right? Take control, right? And the World Business Council for Sustainable Development openly shares with you how they are manipulating you, trying to manipulate your behavior and change your behavior. Just like the CEO of BlackRock, Larry Fink, said in front of a live studio audience that we're telling companies to control behaviors. We want them to control behaviors. This is what they're saying. Right? These are all the various ways that they choose to manipulate you. Social influences. Right? Controlling the information. Providing information about what the desired behavior is, why it matters, and how to do it. Emotional appeals, using emotional messages to drive behavior, right? Enacting rules that promote or restrict a behavior. Choice architecture, changing the context in which choices are made. Material incentives, increasing or decreasing costs, time, effort for doing a behavior, a desired behavior. Right? Right. And you see all the different partners, and you see how everything I just said is connected on one global surveillance system. Right? And once they roll out the CBDC government tokens connected to this social credit scoring system, this carbon footprint scoring system, this is how they will drive these behaviors and get their desired behaviors of compliance and obedience to their authority without question. All right. And then we can connect this to transhumanism and all these weird things with the HARPA blueprint, how DARPA is connected to the NSF and these universities and biotech companies that are working on the Internet of Bio Nano things, like the Georgia Tech Institute of Technology and the University of Nebraska-Lincoln. We can connect this to the graphene flagship, right, which talks about these graphene-based biosensors. Right? You know, and they talk about, you know, graphene therapeutics, if it'll allow me. Here we go. Medical graphene. Right? And this is before the rollout of the vaccine. This is before all of this. Graphene wearables. Right? They talk about graphene biosensors in the water. Track water contaminants. Right? Yeah, going green with graphene. Yes, this is how they choose to go green with graphene, by filling your body full of graphene biosensors and nanotechnology. Right? To read your mind, to see if you're having right think. Right? To track your location if you're congregating around the right people. Right? And this will be your safe city. This is your dystopian, technocratic hellscape that they want to rebrand as a safe city, or as Donald Trump rebranded, a freedom city. But make no mistake, this is the smart city dystopian hellscape that many people have been talking about for decades. This is the implementation, all right, of Agenda 2030, the World Economic Forum's Great Reset. But it goes back to technocracy. Technocracy Incorporated back in the 1930s, where they talked about, you know, tracking and tracing energy consumption, you know, creating a catalog of how energy is consumed, the input and the output, and controlling that and putting it into a registry. This is the carbon footprint scoring. This is the carbon footprint tracking, right? Necessity, justification, problem, reaction, solution, the Hegelian dialectic at work. And this will be your world, right? And many of these things are already in place. But once they roll out this digital ID with the biometric fingerprint scanner, they roll out the CBDC, you will have to scan your fingerprint to gain access to your home, to gain access to the internet, to gain access to your autonomous vehicles, to gain access to public transit, could get on a flight. Yeah. And everything will be autonomous, right? Convenience stores, I showed you in my last video, all these grocery stores, they'll all be autonomous. Right? And you see right here with their logo here, this is the black cube of Saturn, right? You always see this, the black cube of Saturn. As I've talked about in other videos, how the black cube of Saturn and the seal of Solomon all point to the 8-pointed star of Jupiter in Sumeria. Because all these people are related. They're all part of the same royal bloodline, the nobility, the aristocracy that goes back, again, to Sumeria. All these things, they're all related. They're all working together. It's a criminal syndicate, just like the Mafia, the Cosa Nostra. And you will know them through their seal and through their emblem. Alright. Much love, guys. Keep fighting. I'll provide all the links in the about. Please share.